Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the country. Now, you're probably wondering, why should I watch over here instead of over there? Because over there, they don't care about what you have to say. They don't read any of the comments. They talk down to us. They think we're just a bunch of clowns on YouTube. But I think it's the opposite. I think we know exactly what we're talking about. So I read every single comment. So if you think what I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, let me know in the comments below. If you think what I'm saying is the most amazing thing, then definitely please let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would truly love to see you part of it. I really think we can build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really proud to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. So without further ado, let's get to it. We're watching a clip from First Things First, talking about the Bills versus the Chiefs. Should the Bills be favored over the Chiefs? I imagine Nick is going to say no. I don't know. I could see Nick going either way with this, mainly because he either wants to build the Bills up, so then if they beat them, he could go, that's what happens. You know, we put down that juggernaut. But by him doing that, though, then he would have to admit that the Chiefs or that the Bills are a better team, and I don't think he's going to do that. So Buffalo definitely deserves to be favored, though. They're home, and they are a better team. They're a better team. Let me say that one more time. They are a better team. The only thing that can stop the Bills this year is injuries, either because of injuries that happened against the Steelers or during the game, right? Someone gets really injured in the middle of the game, or, you know, obviously you can't predict that, so who really knows? But the Bills are definitely a better team this season, and it's not even close. I mean, it's really not. I know the Bills obviously had like a shaky start to their season. I get that. I do. But the Chiefs are just, they're not solid. I mean, they're a good team. They're not a great team, and they're definitely not an elite team. So again, that alone now makes you not be able to be favored when you're going on the road now to a team like the Bills. And again, I think we have this whole thing built up about what happened during these other years, especially in the playoffs, and the fact that Patrick Mahomes is 2-0 against Josh Allen. We have to stop pretending that those games were fair. They were fair in the context of rules and regulations. I'm not saying that. But they were not equal fights. The Chiefs had such better teams. Had better teams those 2 years. They had a better roster. I cannot talk today. Roster. They were better. And that's like unquestioned. And I'm gonna be a broken record here, but again, they had better wide receivers. They had better offensive line. They had better, they had elite weapons. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes was, and I said this to someone in the comments actually just a couple hours ago. Patrick Mahomes was born on third base in the NFL, okay? He is more than capable of hitting a single and stealing from first to second to third to home. He's more than capable of hitting a home run, a grand slam, diving catches, throwing a perfect game. He is more than capable of doing any of those things. Usually when you hear someone say that they're born on third, it's usually like, well, they didn't earn anything and they didn't deserve anything. I don't mean that. But that's what made the Chiefs so good. It's indisputable that he was given the best situation out of like any other great quarterback ever. I mean, I can't think of any quarterback that was ever drafted into a better situation than Patrick Mahomes. Just being drafted by Andy Reid alone puts you like, you know, elevates you so much. Not to mention now let's add Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. I mean, like, it's just, that alone is insane. I mean, it really, really is. So, and again, what was Josh Allen given? Nothing. Like, literally, like, nothing. He doesn't have Andy Reid. He's had multiple offensive coordinators just this season alone, let alone over his career. So, I mean, like, it's just, you know, he has not had the consistency. He just hasn't. Okay, he's had Tyreek or Diggs now, right? And like Diggs definitely had like a really good season with him, without a doubt. But like, let's stop pretending that Diggs is the same as Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce. As I drop my camera, See, that's how fired up I am. So it's just one of those things where we have to stop pretending that this is equal, because it's just not.
Are we talking in reality or in the world the Bills occupy?
It's I thought it was a simple question.
So here's the thing.
Don't make it complicated.
In reality, unequivocally no. But in the world and conversation space that the Bills have occupied, obviously yes. Because the Bills and the discussion surrounding the Bills exists in a world where their 11-6 season and division championship is something to be feared, while their opponent, Kansas City's 11-6 season and division championship, is a bit of a failure. The Bills operate in a world where their 14-point wild card round win against a 10-win team sent shockwaves and fear throughout the rest of the league as this team continues to peak, while the Chiefs' 19-point win over an 11-win team in the wild card round was, what's the big deal? The Bills live in a world where their quarterbacks, 250 yards per game passing, made an MVP candidate, and Patrick Mahomes is 260 yards per game, and by the way, better passer rating, better touchdown.
And that he wants to forget about Josh Allen has way more total touchdowns, more rushing yards, more rushing touchdowns. It's not even close. It's like 15 plus over Patrick Mahomes. Also, the Miami Dolphins beat one team this past season with a winning record. One team, and that was the Dallas Cowboys. They lost every other game against a winning team. Every other game. Stop pretending like the Dolphins were this great team that the Chiefs knocked out. It's just not true. They had one of the worst defenses in the NFL. It's like bottom 10, okay? Awful. And they were hurt. They were signing people off the street. The Steelers, on the other hand, had a top 10 defense. Yes, I understand Watt was injured. That definitely hurt the Steelers. But Watt isn't their entire team. He made up, obviously, a lot of it, and he's obviously a big player, but he's not their entire team. The Dolphins were missing, like, God knows how many defensive players, and their defense was already trash to begin with. Makes no sense.
Interception ratio, all of those things.
Well, he did for 15.
Okay, well, again, if I may, but made him an MVP candidate while the other guy, what was wrong with him? The Bills also live in a world where they have the number 9 ranked defense in the league, and it's looked at as something that's good. While the Chiefs live in a world where they have the number 9 ranked offense in the league, and it's looked at as something that's broken. So in that world, of course the Bills are the favorite. Of course the Bills. That's why they are the now 3-time defending media champions. In reality, and luckily the games are played in reality, it's Sunday afternoon in Orchard Park, we'll see why they don't deserve to be favorites. But everybody thinks they're favorites because everybody thinks they're better. And people are frothing at the mouth to be able to get to is this game for the quarterback championship belt take. So, yeah, of course they deserve in that world, the world that they've operated in the last few months.
That was impressive.
What?
How you totally took it to bizarro world to make it seem like the Chiefs should be favored. There is no reason that the Kansas City Chiefs should be favored over the Bills. We're talking about this season.
Yeah.
With lifetime achievement, sure. They're the better team. Mahomes, this season, why? Why in the world would the Chiefs be favored? The Chiefs haven't played the better football over the last 2 months. The Chiefs got beat by this Buffalo team head-to-head. Buffalo has the home field advantage where they are very good. 8-2 at home, 4-4 on the road. So they got a little Cowboys syndrome going on where they're very good at home, so-so on the road. Their flops, what were their flops? Losing to the Patriots, losing to the Jets. On the road, their best wins, Dallas. They destroyed Dallas. Oh, my. They destroyed Miami early in the season. Oh, my. Put almost 50 on them. Happened at home. And look at Josh Allen at home. It's a huge difference just in him. TD to interception. The Josh Allen who throws it away, loses the ball all the time, fumbles also only 1 in 10 games. He doesn't exist in Buffalo. He exists somewhere else on the road. Team scores almost 29 points a game, much better than they do on the road. So, Nick, I mean, I'm sorry. Like, just an objective observer looks at this, and there's no way you could say the Chiefs should be number one or favorite. And here's another reason. The Chiefs haven't beaten a playoff team that doesn't break dance.
Okay.
I said they're 2-4 against. I know y'all thought they were coming in. They're 2-4 against playoff teams this year. The 2 wins, Miami. I mean, they haven't, and they only average 18 points against Green Bay, Philadelphia, Detroit, and Baltimore. So, on the other hand, or it's not Baltimore. I can't read my writing.
Play Baltimore.
All right, but they only average 18 points a game against the 4 playoff teams that they've lost to. and I guess it's Buffalo. Buffalo's the other one. My fault. And so there's no reason.
Okay.
Buffalo also 6-1 against playoff teams.
Yeah, go ahead, Wilds.
I've got 8 reasons. I asked Josh to come up with 10.
Yeah.
That Buffalo should be favored?
Yeah. At home, they're 8-1. They're the hotter team. They won Week 14. They got the best third down offense. They allowed the fewest sacks. Cook has gone over 100 yards in the last 6 games. Careless with the ball. Allen's got 20 passing touchdowns and 4 interceptions in the playoffs. And the Bills lead the NFL with 32 takeaways. With all that being said, I'm still going Chiefs, obviously.
I mean, so, okay.
Obviously. It's still Patrick Mahomes.
No, Chiefs.
Like, what are we doing?
Chiefs. We've seen him lose in the playoffs.
I'm still
but
going
we've
Patrick
never.
Mahomes,
So here's
bro.
the thing. And we can show, we've seen Patrick Mahomes lose pre-Super Bowl in overtime twice. That is correct. We have seen him in those games be excellent. Yeah. Those numbers are cartoonish. In these two rounds, Brew, we actually have never seen him lose. We have not seen Patrick Mahomes lose in the first round or the second round. And if we can, Hubs, I don't know if we can jump ahead to the quarterbacks each guy's beaten. At some point we could show that. Here's the other part of it as far as deserve to be 2.5-point favorites. Yes, of course, history matters. Josh Allen has some amazing postseason stats.
Yeah.
His best postseason win is, of course, a loss. And the quarterbacks he's beaten, Lamar in a 17-3 game, I will give him credit in his first or second postseason win. Phillip Rivers on the Colts, then Mac Jones, Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson.
This is so stupid. It's not even remotely relevant in this situation to start like naming quarterbacks that they've beaten because you're not playing the other quarterback. You know, like, so this isn't basketball where you're actually on the same court at the same time. So this whole thing doesn't make sense. And now we're elevating, Big Ben as at the end of his career, Andrew Luck at the end of his career, Tannehill, like we're elevating Tannehill now. Jimmy G, who he says is not good, like. This is where Nick, again, continues to clown himself. He says that Tannehill's not a good quarterback. He says Jimmy G is not a good quarterback. I mean, what are you talking about here? He says that Tua is not a good quarterback. So, what are you talking about? It doesn't even it really, truly doesn't make sense at all. I mean, it really, really doesn't. So, this idea, it's again, because let's just use Jalen Hurts as an example. Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, but the Chiefs still won the Super Bowl. So to list these quarterbacks, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's useless. It's pointless. I mean, we may as well talk about what they ate for dinner before the games. These are all the games that Patrick Mahomes won when he ate a salad before the games, when he had an appetizer before his dinner. It's like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter. It means nothing. Literally nothing. Meaningless. 100% meaningless. So I don't even get you're reaching when that's what you're saying. I went to years ago. I went to small claims court because my landlord was trying to sue me for money. I won because I was right, and I was talking to my brother at the time, and I was like, okay, here's my case. This is what's going on. He's trying to take advantage of me. And I said, and I was like, and I'm pretty sure he's lied about the fact that his mother, is dying, and I was like, and I want to call him out for that. And my brother said, no, don't do that. And I go, why? He's like, because your case is already 100%, sound and accurate. He's like, you are correct in this situation. And so there's no reason why you should lose. There's no reason to bring up this other stuff. You would only do that if you didn't really feel like your case was solid enough. And it's true, because actually that day in court, my landlord tried to bring up his mother being sick And the judge immediately stopped him and said, stop. He goes, I'm very sorry about your mother. I'm very sympathetic to that. He goes, but that has nothing to do with this case. It has nothing to do with anything. And he just stopped him right there. And it was true. And again, I ended up winning. And so when Nick starts to bring up this other random stuff, right? It doesn't make any sense. You're reaching now. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. No one's disputing that. This is not the argument. And so he even said, though, in the same segment, we're talking about this season, and he starts to lay out, all the things that happened about beating the Dolphins and having, an 11-6 record and this or that. But yet he already had this graphic queued up. So he knew that obviously he knew that he was going to bring this up. It doesn't make any sense. Andrew Luck hasn't been in the NFL in like damn near a decade at this point, it feels like. So like, what are we talking about right now? Big Ben? You want to talk about beating the Steelers in Big Ben? When's the last time Big Ben and the Steelers did anything in the playoffs? So it's just like, it's so dumb. And now Baker Mayfield's something special. Baker Mayfield. And also, Patrick Mahomes didn't even finish the game against Baker Mayfield. Okay, the backup quarterback did. Are we not going to forget that? Patrick Mahomes got injured, and then literally it was a backup quarterback who then won the game for the Chiefs. So like it doesn't even make sense. I mean, it makes literally zero sense. I mean, it really, really does. And Tannehill and Jimmy G. I mean, like Nick Wright has been banging on Jimmy G for the last like 2 years. And now all of a sudden, that's a notable quarterback to put up there. I mean, it's just so stupid. I mean, it really, really is. And again, it's just this absurd bias. And this is also what Nick did before he even got to kind of to start the segment off, right? He paints this really big, extreme situation that no one's even talking about, right? Like it's kind of like, it's a straw man, but it's a different type of straw man because it's creating this whole conversation, this exaggerated conversation that no one's really talking about here. Like that's not the conversation at hand. And again, he wants to act like that the Bills are being treated as better than the Chiefs and then he starts to say like, well, they're both 11-6 and they both won their division, all this. Okay, but the Chiefs are a higher seed. Are they not? Yes, they are. So obviously the NFL and mathematics and the way how the seeding works, clearly they're above the Chiefs. They have home field advantage. Clearly they're the number 2 seed. So clearly they're a better team. Like I don't understand how he can't grasp that. It's one thing if they played the exact same schedule and they won and they scored the same points and same everything, then we could say, okay, why are we saying that the Bills are better? That's not the case. That's not the case. So this whole thing is just like, I feel bad because like every video that I do, I just have to just like pick this apart and say a lot of the same things again and again because it's just like, it's getting exhausting at this point because it's just the same nonsense. And again, you can see the sincerity in his face. Like he really does believe it. He's not acting. He's really not. Like he genuinely believes this. And it's just like, it's just sad at this point. I mean, it really, really is. I mean, I keep saying this. It's just, he keeps forcing us to make sense out of nonsense. And I'm starting to just like, it feels like I'm having a fever dream, honestly. Like I feel like I have the flu every time I'm listening to him talk about, because you forget things too, right? When you start talking about a playoff game against Baker Mayfield, or Tannehill or Jimmy G, you start to trick yourself. Or Tua, he had Tua at the bottom of his little playoff mountain thing. So obviously, if Tua's at the bottom, he doesn't think that Tua is a good quarterback, and yet he puts Tua up there as a QB that he won. How does that make sense? Please, someone help me make sense of it. I can't. I genuinely can't. Please let me know what you all think in the comments below, because I just don't know what to say anymore. I really, really don't. It's just so absurd. I can't make sense of it. Please tell me what the argument is for this season as to why the Chiefs should be favored over Josh Allen and the Bills. Let me know in the comments below. Would love to hear your thoughts. Please don't forget to subscribe, and definitely please give this video a thumbs up, as it really helps with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.